Hi guys, I'm Bruce Wesley. I'm the founding pastor at Clear Creek Community Church in League City, Texas. And I want to share with you today a lesson that I learned about leadership through a mistake that I made. About 10 years ago, I was sitting in a room with 70 leaders and potential leaders, and we were excited about some exponential growth we were going to experience, and yet on that same day, I was raising the qualifications for leaders incrementally, just a step, and I got some pushback. And when I did, I backed up, lowered the bar again to leadership, and that was a mistake. And it was a mistake that we paid the price for the last 10 years, really. But we learned a valuable lesson that I want to share with you, and maybe you won't have to make the same kind of mistake. I asked myself after that, now what do I really want in leaders? Do I want speed and the ability to reproduce leaders quickly, yet we know we can't microwave a leader? Or do I want strength? The kind of leader that I would say I could entrust them with anyone. They're just a great disciple maker. Do I want speed or do I want strength? And obviously the answer is I want both. And I think you want both. And the lesson I learned has to do with the two bars of leadership. The principle of the two bars of leadership is that in your leadership process there needs to be a speed bar and a strength bar. Think about it this way. The speed bar is there automatically when you're young because you're including new leaders who really, they're not very strong, but you have to have people. And so maybe they can only spell Jesus and they have a pulse and they're one step ahead of others, and you would quickly include them in the leadership of the church. But the problem is that kind of leadership won't carry you long. Young churches grow fast, but they can also die fast because their leadership's not very strong. And so over time, you have to raise the bar. Well, if you simply raise the bar, then all of a sudden you can't include new people in leadership. So the speed bar is to say, leave a low bar of leadership where you can include people quickly, early in the game, and continually include them over time. But add a second bar. And the second bar is what I would call the strength bar. And the strength bar starts out low also because when the church is young, the qualifications are not high. But over time, the strength bar is raised incrementally so that ultimately in the life of the church, your basic leadership qualifications are qualifications that will enable you to entrust money and people and mission to those who are qualified as leaders in your church. They are strong enough to really be the leaders in your church. Here's what I wish I had done. I wish I had done this before the meeting where I made the big mistake. I wish I had sat down and said, okay, this is where our speed bar is going to be and how we're going to include new people. And then I'm going to answer the ultimate question. What are the basic qualifications that we ultimately want in leaders before we entrust money and people and mission to them? And when you answer that question, you have answered what is your strength bar going to be ultimately. I mean, for many of you, maybe that's way down the road. But this is where we're going to eventually get. So you know where the speed bar is, and you know where the strength bar is going to be. But how do you get from here to there? The way you get from here to there is you raise the strength bar incrementally over time. Maybe each year you simply add one more qualification to leadership, and then you create the kind of training or the kind of experiences that help people actually grow in their character to that place. And after you've done that through the years, you will eventually get to the place where the strength bar is in place, and you have also developed a way to get people from where they enter into leadership, the speed bar, all the way up to the strength bar. And that is now your leadership development process or program. You can take people from where they began all the way to where they're ultimately going to be. Now, again, this is an art, not a science. This progress of adding piece by piece to the leadership development process until they reach the ultimate strength bar, that's an art that you as a leader practice so that people can stay in the game and continue to grow, and they don't bail because you've asked too much of them all of a sudden. So what I hope for you, and what I wish I had done, is to have a speed bar and include people quickly, but also have a strength bar and raise that strength bar incrementally, knowing where you're going all the while, until finally you have a leadership development process in place where you can be both fast and strong as a church. Thanks.